Sebastian asks a much shorter question this week. I hope this is the right place to ask. It would be great to hear your perspective on form versus fatigue. What I mean specifically is, during a training session, at some point, one starts to lose energy and form may get compromised. My core, for example, will not be as strong, but I want to continue to push myself to do more armor building complex rounds. How do I push myself but without compromising form to prevent injury? Is it as simple as, if you feel any part of your form is getting compromised or you are out of breath, you stop? You know, to me, the next book I'm bringing out is called The Art of Coaching, and this to me is part of the art of coaching. Let me just make it real simple for you. If you're throwing the hammer, the discus, the javelin, doing lots and lots and lots of compromised throws are not going to help you throw farther. So, at a track meet, I get 6 throws, 3 in the trials, 3 in the finals. And you don't have to be in very good shape to throw a discus 3 times. I'll be honest with you. So in practice, you have to really throw far. Now, there's a value for drills or what we call range throwing and all the rest. But if I keep throwing and throwing and throwing, and I start off throwing 200, then I start, an hour into it, I'm at 170. 3 hours into it, I'm at 140. What I'm training my nervous system to do is throw crappy, okay? And that's the truth. If you're Olympic lifting and your form breaks down, the bar is going to hit you hard and it's going to hurt you. So for those of us who are competitive lifters who are listening, you probably heard that question is like, well, you never want your form to break down, because if your form breaks down as a power lifter in the squat, you don't have great spotters or great safety tools, you could be, to quote Parks and Rec, dunzo. And you don't want to be dunzo. Your form breaks down in a deadlift, you could, like that Stu McGill book where he talks about filming a guy, pop a disc. I mean, that's like, who'd have thunk that? If you're an Olympic lifter or power lifter or thrower, most of our listeners will be like, yeah, once your technique breaks down, you got to drill, you got to practice other things, you got to maybe do supportive exercises, but you're done. For those of you who use the weight room for body composition, to feel better, for all the other great things that exercise does for you, like the ABC, one of the things and if you buy the book, Armor Building Formula, available at danjohnuniversity.com/bookstore, one of the things notice is that I nudge you up on the ABC. Week in, week out, we kind of, float ourselves up, because you don't want to, there are obviously people who can pick up the double 32s and do 30 rounds the first time they try it. But for most of my listeners, this is something you want to float up with. There's 2 things, Sebastian, specifically about the armor building complex. The first thing I would recommend you do is extend your rest periods between rounds. If you're trying to do every minute on the minute and your technique is compromised, don't do every minute on the minute anymore. Take some extra time and then, finish your rounds. And that's actually not a bad way to train anytime. Say like your goal is 20 rounds of the ABC every minute on the minute. Well, the first time you try, you get to 6 rounds, 6 minutes, and then you say, no, I need more rest. And then you decide to finish all 20 rounds. And then you let your rest periods expand. And let's just say it takes you 42 minutes to do the 20 minutes the first time. Come back to it in 2 weeks, you're going to do 20 rounds again, same method. You get to round 9, good for you, and then you do the natural rests, and it takes you 31 minutes. You've made enormous progress. 2 weeks later, you do it again, you get to round 15, and dang it if you don't finish in 26 minutes. So I think, to me, that's a much better way to go. So remember, the most important organ when it comes to training is your brain. And sometimes you just, like I say, sometimes you got to fold your arms and nod and go, okay, let's think this through. And I think this is what you probably need to do this. Listen, the armor building formula has this, and I'm also working on another follow-up to armor building, and I have a program for you. I have multiple programs for you, and I think they all work. You just have to sometimes think along your own specific situation, Sebastian. I hope that helped.